open up. You open up.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this look with acrylic. If you want to see how I achieved this, keep watching. So here I am just putting the nails on my trainer hand. A little tip with the trainer hand, if you don't push up the finger portion of this, your nail will pop out. So make sure that the fingers are fully pushed up before you put your nail on. So here I'm just going in with my sanding band. I'm doing prep just as I would on a hand, just to show you how I would prep the hand. So right now all I'm doing is going around the cuticle and down the whole nail to remove the natural shine. Now I'll be going in with my first diamond cuticle bit. I'll be using this bit lightly around the whole cuticle to bring up anything that is attached to the nail plate. This is going to help prevent your acrylic from lifting, as well as make your whole look flawless. Now I'll be going in with my second diamond cuticle bit. I'm just taking this around the cuticle once more. This is really going to remove that cuticle from the nail, and in some cases will prevent you from having to use your cuticle nippers. With that being said, if your client does have really bad cuticles, this is when we would bring in our nippers. Now right before I cleanse the nail, I always like to dust off the nails with this plastic dust brush. It's easy to sanitize. Now with my cleanser and a lint-free wipe, I'll just be cleansing the nail to remove any dirt or oils left on the natural nail. Now for the fun part. For this set, I actually used forms, so here I am just using the Young Nails forms. The middle part you're going to take out and stick on the back just to give it some extra support, and then here I just like to bend the form just to give it some flexibility before I put it onto the nail. Now as I'm going in and putting the form on, you really want to make sure that the form is on the nail straight. So there's a line in the middle of the form that you want to line up with the middle of the nail, and then you also want to make sure that the form is not pointing down but not pointing up, just like I show you right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that exact same thing on the rest of the fingers. As you can tell, I'm not doing the thumb. The nail trainer hand just doesn't bend nicely, so I'm only going to be doing these 4 fingers. So again, using Young Nails for this set, I did decide to use Cover Pink over the whole nail instead of going back with a gel polish after. And I just want to show you I'm using a size 10 brush for this set. So before we get started with our acrylic, we're going to go in with Young Nails Protein Bond, and we're going to do 1 coat on each finger, then go back and do a second coat. Since I'm just using the trainer hand, I'm not actually going to do it, but that's what you would want to do on a real hand. Here I'm just going to burp my brush, so you want to do this to get any bubbles out of your acrylic before you start, just to prevent bubbles from being laid into your nail bed. Now I'm going in. I do start at the bottom where the form is, so I'm just going in, working my acrylic. It is a little bit runny. I am new to this, so I'm still working on getting that liquid to powder ratio down, but I'm just working with it until it becomes matte and more pliable. So as you can see, I am moving the finger as I'm doing this. You want to be looking at it from all angles, so from a front view, from the top, and from either side. Now, once I'm happy with how I've laid the bottom, all I'm going to do is put a small bead by the cuticle and just drag it down for a seamless blend. Now if you look closely to the right side, it didn't really blend quite as seamless as I would like it. So what I'm going to do is take a couple of smaller beads and just work on that apex right in the stress area and make sure that that little gap on the side is filled. So the first bead, more so just building my apex, and then I'm going to take another one and just fill in that gap to make sure that we have enough strength that this nail is not going to break. So now I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other 3 fingers, and I'll be back when I'm done. So now I'm just going in and tapping on the acrylic. If you hear it tap like this, that means it's done. If you don't hear anything, that means it's still drying. So now that I know that my acrylic is fully cured, I'm just taking off the forms. So this is a medium ceramic bit. So what I'm going to be using this for is just if I feel that there's something that's a little bit too bulky for my hand file, I'm using this to first go in and bring that down just a little bit to get my shape closer to exactly how I want it before I hand file. So now, on the acrylic, I'm going to be using a 100 grit file, and I'm just going to start by revamping my shape a little bit. So I'm going in on the sides of the nails and just making sure that it's in line, being careful to not over-file your sidewalls. That is going to cause your nail to break. So here I'm just making it a little bit more square, and then I'm going to be going over the whole nail itself just to make sure it's completely smooth. So as you can see here, my nail is not completely smooth where those dots are. So I'm going to make sure that I go over that nail and get it all so that all of the white marks are the same. That means my nail is smooth, and when I put a clear coat over this, it's gonna look flawless. Now for this index finger, I'm not gonna lie, I formed it a little bit wonky, so I'm gonna have to spend a little bit more time making sure that this nail is filed properly. So here I'm just really dusting off the nails again. I wanna always be doing that. And then I'm gonna go back in with my medium bit, and I'm just gonna buff over the nail with this. See how it's really taking the file marks off of the nail? This is just gonna help you get that flawless blend when you put your clear coat over it. So next I'm going back in with my sanding pen, and I'm aware this one looks a little bit worn out, but it's just going on a trainer hand, so it's fine. What I'm using this for is just going around the cuticle to make sure that you have that smooth, flawless blend. Now here I'm going to take a buffing block, and we're just going to go over the whole nail with this. Again, this is just going to smooth your nail even further. Now this is when you would get your client to wash their hand, come back, and you're going to use your cleanser again. So we're going to spray this on, again, a lint-free wipe and just cleanse that nail once more. Now for a little bit of art. So here is just a little plate that I used to put my paint on, and I'm going to be using a nudie pink color. So I just have this color on a striping brush, and I'm just putting it on randomly, quite messy. And then I'm going to go back in with a wet flat brush, I guess, and just blend this out to kind of give it that messy, almost marbly look. So now that I've cured it for 30 seconds, I'm going back in with a pretty translucent pink to go over this to just give it some dimension. So once that's done, you're gonna pop it back into your UV LED light, whatever you use, and we'll be back to give it a little bit more detail. So now with that same color, I'm just going to give it a little bit more detail, some super small thin lines here. So you wanna use really, really light brush strokes. So now I'm happy with the way that this is looking, so we're gonna cure it once more before our final step, which is our top coat. So this is a no wipe top coat from C&D. I'm only going to be using this one on the pinky finger, the middle finger, and the pointer finger. I am not putting it on our marble nail, and you'll see why in a moment. So now I'm gonna be using Candy Coat Matte Top Coat. So I'm going to put this on our marble nail to just give it a matte effect so that you can really see all of the detail in it. So we have cured for 30 seconds. So since I used a no wipe shine coat, all I have to do is use my cleanser on that ring finger to get the matte look. So here you have it. So if you've made it this far into the video, here's our final look. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below for some more video ideas, follow me on Instagram, and of course subscribe to my channel. Thanks guys!